Hello friends, we continue to follow the events on the front lines of Ukraine and Russia as well as in news. And today, after Prigozhin betrayed everyone in Russia, a purge of all those who sided with Prigozhin and were ready to follow him to change the government begins. Videos of military personnel who supported Wagner are already appearing, promising that they won't let him escape so easily. I think many understand that Putin now wants to purge all dissenters to ensure his peaceful rule for the coming years. Meanwhile, the war in Ukraine continues from Russian territory. Shelling of the Chernihiv, Sumy and Kharkiv regions continues, while no shelling or offensive actions by the Russian Freedom Legion are observed on Russian territory. So far, this group hasn't made any significant moves. The Russians also continue to launch missile strikes, while the Ukrainian armed forces are trying to liberate Ukrainian territory, starting with the Zaporizhzhia direction, albeit without aviation support at the moment. Recently, the Ukrainian armed forces resumed movement in the Robotyne and Novofedorivka areas. Unfortunately, after a slight advance, the front lines has stalled and there have been no successes in the past 24 hours. In turn, the Russians are shelling all the front-line settlements, trying to destroy as much advance and equipment and leave forces as possible. In the Vuhledar direction, after successes in the Urozhaine area, the Ukrainian armed forces have currently halted their offensive actions and are not conducting any further attacks. Unfortunately, it is quite challenging to break through the Russian defense, so swift progress isn't possible. However, there is information that the town of Rivnopil has returned under Ukrainian control. Today, Russian soldiers have also ceased all attacks along the front line and are only conducting intensified shelling on both frontline settlements and up to 10 kilometers deep. In the Kherson direction, Russia continues shelling, but there are no offensive actions from either side as before, despite Russian claims that the Ukrainian armed forces plan to break through here. Russia has also begun repairing the Changarsky Bridge as they urgently need to facilitate the transfer of equipment from Crimea to southern Ukraine to maintain defense. Currently, experts have already installed one beam and traffic will be restored soon, according to Volodymyr Saldo, the governor of the Kherson region. More and more footage of the dried-up Kakhovka reservoir is also appearing online. What do you think of such a desert? Share your thoughts in the comments. Today, the Avdiivka direction has also been successfully stabilized. The Ukrainian armed forces have repelled all attacks by the Russians. Currently, only shelling without offensive actions is taking place around Avdiivka. Further south in Mariupol, battles are still ongoing, but the intensity is gradually decreasing and there have been no significant successes for the Russians. In the Bakhmut direction, an official statement was made yesterday about the Ukrainian armed forces' offensive actions in 6 directions around Bakhmut. However, unfortunately, there is no official confirmation of progress yet, although reports suggest that there are successes, but they cannot be shown at the moment. So we are waiting. Meanwhile, the Russians have decided to resume offensive actions on Ivanivka today and are shelling the front line, including Chasiv Yar. In the Kremina and Siversk areas, the situation remains challenging. The occupiers continue their offensive actions on the village of Vesele, but they haven't been able to break through. However, they have managed to expand their controlled territory near Kremina. On the other hand, the Ukrainian armed forces have temporarily suspended their offensive actions and unfortunately haven't achieved significant successes with their previous attacks. There is only a minor breakthrough reported in the Shepetivka area. The front line remains unchanged in the past 24 hours. In the Dvorichna area, the occupiers are shelling the entire front line and targeting Kupiansk. However, no offensive actions have been reported as before. In the Svatove area, offensive actions have resumed towards Berestove, but the Ukrainian armed forces are successfully defending their positions and there have been no changes along the front line. As of today, the Ukrainian armed forces have managed to eliminate an additional 720 Russian occupies. Today, Russian social media and media outlets are starting to spread reports that Alexei Dumin, the governor of the Tula region, may replace Sergei Shoigu as the Minister of Defense of Russia. The resignation of Shoigu was demanded by the leader of the Wagner PMC, Yevgeny Prigozhin. The appointment of Dumin is allegedly expected to happen soon. According to internal assessments within the British government, the United Kingdom should prepare for the scenario of an unexpected disintegration of the Russian Federation to avoid being caught off guard. The Times, citing its sources, reports that London has been considering the possibility of instability within Russia since the start of the full-scale war. However, the pace of events since Prigozhin announced the march on Moscow has prompted diplomats to quickly prepare action plans for various scenarios. Today, President Zelensky of Ukraine held telephone conversations with the President Andrzej Duda of Poland and President Joseph Biden of the United States. They discussed the latest events in Russia and how they could impact the course of the fighting and the security situation in the region. They also discussed the situation on the battlefield and the threatening situation created by the occupiers at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Furthermore, they have managed to coordinate positions ahead of the Vilnius summit of NATO and other international events. That's all for now. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye!